Hello guys, welcome back to our anime moment. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Before starting the video, special thanks to our supporters Orion Quest and Dear Latahana. Orion Quest, thank you for $15. Dear Latahana, thank you for $5 NZ. There is some issue on YouTube, that's why subtitles are not available, please understand friends. Today is explanation of Swallowed Star episode number 320 based on novel. So let's start. Last time, the most powerful world tree had intervened, but it was not the case this time. Apparently, he wanted his child to suffer losses and learn some lessons. Besides, his godly power already surrounded the trunk of the Sector Lord level world tree, which guaranteed his child's survival. In that case, he would rather his child fight for itself and gain some experience. The Pinnacle Emperor slave burned its godly power like a star. The mighty, burning, godly power deterred all the twigs and leaves around him. With a crisp snap, like a jade being broken, a twig with a diameter of more than 1,000 feet was cut off by the Pinnacle Emperor slave. Go! The Pinnacle Emperor slave was ready to teleport and leave. Following Luo Feng's order, he had thrown a flame origin crystal. With his burning Pinnacle Emperor undying body, he had easily cut off a branch of that world tree. Then he'd grabbed a twig and fled. Halt! The most powerful world tree, observing from a distance, intervened. An invisible force penetrated the Pinnacle Emperor slave holding the offshoot. He trembled violently, then turned to dust that floated away on the breeze. Dead. Barely half a second had passed between from the appearance of the Pinnacle Emperor slave and its death. He was still killed, Mosha body thought from within the seed cluster. I assumed the Pinnacle Emperor slave throwing the flame god crystal would draw the Universe Night world tree's attention. I knew it would kill him. I just didn't expect it to give him a chance to break a twig first. Mosha body was perplexed. The most powerful world tree could have easily killed the slave the moment it detected him. Instead, it had waited. Luo Feng didn't know what was going on between these world trees. Countless broken twigs and leaves had been blasted into the sky and scattered everywhere. The shockwave caused some plant seeds to fly around, and some of the twigs and leaves fell to where Mosha body's seed cluster lay. It's coming. Mosha body was expecting this, but he didn't dare react. Instead, he allowed himself to float along with the shockwave like an ordinary seed cluster. There was only one leaf on one of the broken twigs, and it came toward Mosha body. This is the moment, he realized. Go! Mosha body hit a twig. Silently, he teleported 50 light years away, instantly leaving 9 remoteness space. At the center of Tree Island, within the domain of world trees, the Sector Lord world tree was trembling and roaring. Me? It was me again. Why? Damn it. Ha ha, poor Seven, taunted its siblings. Seven, you told me to stay out of this, said its father. But if I had, your attacker would have gotten away. I told you to stay out of this, snarled the Sector Lord world tree. I'd rather my twigs be stolen. Why did you meddle, father? Don't kid yourself, echoed the gentle voice of the strongest world tree. He can breed a life tree with that offshoot. I won't let another race steal a world tree offshoot. The Sector Lord world tree started to recover, and the broken leaves and twigs were flying back to its crown. It didn't even realize that a small twig was gone. The most powerful world tree sensed this with its dominance over the time and space, but by the time it realized what had happened, Mosha body had already escaped 9 remoteness space. It wasn't strange for the Sector Lord level world tree not to realize its missing twig. There were fundamental differences between Sector Lords and Undying fighters. Once the tree became undying, each leaf would merge into its soul imprint, meaning it could distinctly sense them. However, for Sector Lord world trees, they were still, in a way, mostly botanical. This one had no life imprint on any of its leaves. It couldn't feel them at all. The same rule applied to humans. If a human undying fighter lost his arm, and it was taken tens of light years away, he could sense the arm's location. This was not the case for Sector Lords. With so much of its surroundings in ruins after the explosion, the Sector Lord world tree had no way of knowing that one of its twigs had been taken away. Teleportation? Thought the most powerful world tree. Universe Night level teleportation? He concealed his aura so well that even I didn't notice it. It must be his talent technique. A Universe Knight who knows how to change his aura only stole a twig. The most powerful world tree was perplexed, but it didn't dig into it, as its child losing a leaf was like a human losing some dandruff. In the space outside 9 remoteness space, Luo Feng appeared dressed in black, holding the emerald leaf. Ha ha. Finally, I've got it. He stared at the leaf on his hand and was extremely enlivened. My third body. If I'm lucky, I can breed a world tree body with it. It'll be planted in my god country, which will be stabilized and strengthened by it. Given its size, it will be larger than the godly body of Teacher Swashanku and Teacher Primal Chaos City Leader. Even if my other body's godly power was exhausted, they could be supplemented by the world tree body. Godly power in the law ocean was the purest, and once it merged with a life imprint, it was godly power with a master. His original earthling body, Mosha body, golden horned beast body, and the world tree body would all be assembled by Luo Feng's soul imprint. Even if the golden horned beast body lost 80% of its godly body, it could draw from the world tree body, as 80% of a golden horned beast was less than 1/10,000 of that of a world tree. It can manipulate time and space too. If I can make it. He grew nervous. Emerald light flashed through the area, and an ordinary undying servant walked out of the light. This slave had been sent by golden horned beast in the primal secret region. Master of my master. The slave saluted Mosha body. Go. Mosha body took the slave and cast God country transportation. He used that slave as the center of God country transportation and arrived at the primal secret region. In the towering palace of the primal secret region. Chen Chen Emperor stood in the palace, waiting. When Chen Chen Emperor saw Mosha body and the undying slave walking out of the emerald light, he bowed. Master. Mosha body nodded, but he couldn't concern himself with anything else at the moment. He commanded, from now on, nobody is allowed in my palace. Yes, master, Chen Chen Emperor said reverently. Mosha body disappeared. In the core of his internal world. Golden horned beast body and Mosha body stood on a boundless plain. Golden horned beast's mountainous head was drooping to look at the world tree's leaf which Mosha body carried. The final obstacle, Mosha body muttered. There's a limit to my internal world breeding, and it's almost 100 times the life level of golden horned beasts. The world tree barely falls within the limit of my internal world breeding. Will I succeed? Or fail? He was nervous. After so much effort and suffering, and with his original earthling body trapped in the 9 Remoteness world, Luo Feng didn't regret everything he had gone through, as long as he could have the third body. After all, it was difficult for him to have a powerful body suitable for him. One last plunge. Luo Feng's eyes were bloodshot. He had never felt so anxious before. All his 3 bodies were looking forward to the result that determined their fate. A green light flew up in the sky, shining like an aurora. Both Mosha body and golden horned beast body looked up. That leaf of the world tree flew higher and higher. The internal world had a diameter of more than 60 million miles, and the leaf didn't stop until it flew to the very core of the internal world. Talent technique, clone, Luo Feng gave an order through his mind. He had 3 clone opportunities. 1 bred the earthling original body, 1 bred Mosha body, and this was the final one. The entire internal world trembled, and endless world energies began to gather. All of a sudden, his internal world seemed to have met with the apocalypse. Meanwhile, a colossal golden sphere showed up in the sky. The critical moment. Mosha body, golden horned beast body, and Luo Feng, trapped in 9 Remoteness world, were all high-strung. The golden sphere trembled, which frightened Luo Feng and his bodies. The golden sphere trembled again. It was as if flame god crystals were exploding inside. The golden sphere reverberated with incessant, powerful blasts. Luo Feng could feel the great pressure from the world tree's life imprint inside the golden sphere, and his internal world found it difficult to withstand it. Cracks appeared on that golden sphere. More of them gradually came into view. No! Luo Feng was shaken with fright. After one last quiver, the golden sphere exploded, turning into scattered world energies. The leaf of the world tree was annihilated. Luo Feng and the golden horned beast watched quietly. In the aftermath of the explosion, the internal world was silent. In 9 Remoteness world, Luo Feng's heart skipped a beat. He clenched his fist as bitterness flashed in his eyes. The breeding had failed. Luo Feng squeezed the grass in front of him so hard that it vanished. I failed. I failed at breeding the third body. Luo Feng felt like he had been knocked senseless. He hadn't even been this upset when his original earthling body was at an impasse. He had been improving himself ever since he stepped off Earth and entered the universe. He had made so many efforts, had climbed higher and higher on the ladder to becoming a great being. However, Luo Feng had to admit that Mosha body and Golden Horned Beast body helped him dearly in this process. Talent was just as important as a strong will and perseverance. A third body is vital to my future development and my future status in the universe. Like Immortal Knight? Even though he's only a universe knight, no universe masters look down upon him, as nobody is able to kill him so far, Luo Feng thought. If I have that world tree body, even if my other bodies fall, the abundant amount of godly power from the world tree can revive them in no time. By then, I'll have the same ability as an undying knight. I'll be immortal. God Country is the essence of an undying fighter. A world tree in the God Country not only would stabilize it but also make it much stronger with its talent manipulation of space and time. Luo Feng felt wronged. This was the Sector Lord special life form he had chosen that was most suitable for him. Actually, since he had the 9-volume manual, he could have found a flesh-type special life form which could improve his godly body better than world trees. However, Luo Feng had enough access authority to know that the universe was limited. For instance, the limit of godly body amplification and soul amplification were both 100 times. Even the unique life forms were several thousand, or even 10,000 times, stronger than the ordinary ones. I've already had a Golden Horned Beast body, and with my 9-volume manual, my Golden Horned Beast body can definitely rival those unique life forms, Luo Feng thought. Given that, I don't need a flesh-type special life form. After all, flesh-type creatures generally don't have large sizes. The size determined the amount of godly power. The larger a body, the better it was. Take the Sector Lord World Tree, for example. The explosion of that powerful flame origin crystal damaged several million miles of its body, but compared to its crown, which had a diameter of hundreds of millions of miles, and a height of 40 million miles, it was nothing but a minor injury. That most powerful world tree. Its enormous godly body alone can leave other universe knights in despair. Even if they were to self-destruct, it would be nothing but a bee sting. It doesn't even need to care about law comprehension. With that enormous godly body, only universe masters can be a threat to it. The injustice of it all was almost too much. What should I do now? I didn't succeed at breeding my world tree body. Apparently, my internal world is unable to withhold it. Luo Feng clenched his teeth. What should I choose for my third body? It was okay to fail once. Talent technique determined that he could have 3 bodies. Of course, he had to breed all of them before becoming undying, as if he didn't, he would lose his internal body after becoming undying and thus waste the opportunity. Failure to breed his third body was a heavy blow to Luo Feng, yet he recovered quickly. Now that world trees couldn't be bred, what other options were there? What should I breed for my third body? One special life form after another flashed through Luo Feng's mind. Flesh-type special life forms? Even with the 9-volume manual, it could only be as powerful as Golden Horned Beasts. It was ruled out first. Rock race? Plant race? There were several options for these 2 races. My first choice was World Tree, and my second choice is the Ancestral Star Tree. Both of them are plant-type special life forms. Dawn Volcano is my third choice. Luo Feng shook his head. Compared to World Trees, Ancestral Star Trees were obviously inferior, while the third option, Dawn Volcano, was ranked further below. Size was of the utmost importance to Luo Feng. World Trees, Ancestral Star Trees, and Dawn Volcano were all special life forms with gigantic bodies. I need to think carefully, Luo Feng muttered. I'm now stuck in 9 Remoteness world and carrying 3 true treasure. I can't lose any of them, especially Tower Pearl. I'll ask my Mosha body to get me out of here first. Inside a palace surrounded by 1,000 treasure river in the primal secret region. Mosha body showed up in the palace. Master, Tian Chen Emperor said, saluting him. Tian Chen Emperor was confused. He thought his master would be in seclusion for a long time, which was why he had asked him to stop others from interrupting him. However, he had already come out. Mosha body was still upset. Send me to Rock Island. Mosha body quickly summoned a slave. There was 1 keepsake ring disguised as a rock in 2 caves on Rock Island each. Each keepsake ring held several keepsakes belonging to different slaves. Yes, the slave of other races said. Golden light flashed. Mosha body could see the boundless ocean on the other side of the portal. Transportation was completed. On Rock Island in 9 Remoteness space. Moshe teleported toward the Remoteness Ocean once he arrived at Rock Island. He could distinctly sense the original body's location. Moshe body showed up in the ocean. These depths were tempestuous. Each drop of water was as heavy as a mountain. The original body is right down there. Moshe body looked down. I can sense the exact location. Moshe body kept teleporting himself, moving farther and farther below the ocean. After only 3 teleportations, he arrived at the bottom of Remoteness Ocean, where bloody steam vented from the ocean floor. The force emanating from it could rival that of universe nights, which intimidated Moshe body. I can't teleport myself down there anymore. Moshe body frowned. The bloody steam suppresses the space ripple completely. According to the universe coordinates, I'm 6 light days away from the original body. Moshe body felt anxious. 6 light days meant even light would take 6 days to travel that distance. With his talent technique, domain, he could travel a maximum of 6,000 miles each time. Even moving forward 100 times per second would take him 2 to 3 days to arrive. Assuming, of course, that there was no danger awaiting him in the bloody steam. But it doesn't look safe. Moshe body looked down at the raging, bloody steam. Although the water in Remoteness Ocean was heavy, it couldn't penetrate the bloody steam. I must at least try. I'll only lose some energies even if I fail. Moshe body stopped hesitating and dove into the bloody steam. He didn't use his talent technique domain at the beginning. Instead, he flew normally. Moshe body felt overwhelming resistance. Moshe body tried to fly inside, but the resistance was unbelievably strong. The deeper he went, the stronger the resistance became. After moving just 6 feet inside the bloody steam, Moshe body was completely stuck. He couldn't even turn back. Terrifying resistance. Moshe body was in a panic. I can get out with domain, but great beings without my talent technique wouldn't be able to move a muscle if they got stuck in this bloody steam. Little wonder that there's such danger in the Remoteness Master's territory. He's invincible here. Moshe body performed domain. The universe was composed of the elements of time and space, and every inch of the universe contained space. Moshe body turned into space instantly and turned back to the original body, moving forward 6,000 miles. Moshe body kept performing his talent technique, moving forward 100 times per second. Everywhere he passed was filled with endless bloody steam, and the resistance was incredibly strong. Even Moshe body couldn't shake it. The original body is right under me. Moshe body could sense it clearly. Quick, quick, quick! Moshe body continuously cast his talent technique, and even though he was tired, he only rested for 20 minutes after 6 hours of performing domain, after which he continued diving down. Just when Moshe body tried to dive into Remoteness world, 3 shadows with great force flew to the circular dragnet formed by countless indigenous warriors. The shadows were the prince and his 2 universe knights. The universe knight general standing in the sky gave a salutation. Your Highness! Your Highness! Over 1,000 warriors echoed the salutation and knelt down with great veneration. Ha ha ha, the prince laughed out loud. An undying fighter from another race can bring such hustle and bustle to my territory. If any universe knight meets him, remember, don't kill him. I'll do it myself. As for other warriors, leave no stone unturned. Follow my orders. Catch him. Yes, the bloody-horned general answered respectfully. Meanwhile, the prince gave the order to the other 8 generals through the virtual world. With the orders from 9 generals, the warriors in the encirclement initiated the plan of capture. After the prince gave his order, the circular dragnet began to narrow. The circle had a diameter of only 200 million miles, and over 100 million indigenous warriors were involved. For every undying warrior, there were 1,000 Sector Lord warriors. Although it might be unlikely that the Sector Lord warriors could stop Luo Feng, they could serve as informants. It would take Luo Feng 2 to 3 days to break through the circle, even if he traveled in sublight speed. There were 9 layers of the circle. The inner 8 layers were all Sector Lord warriors. Undying warriors and Universe Knight generals were in the outermost layer. He won't be able to make it, said one of the generals. He's already trapped, said the prince. Being caught will be his only destiny. The Sector Lord warriors were tens of thousands of miles away from each other as they started to advance toward Luo Feng. Their world energies were released and connected to 9 Remoteness world energies, sweeping across the entire area. No other races could hide themselves. The circle narrowed, and the warriors advanced. After around 3 hours, a Sector Lord warrior flying at high speed suddenly stopped, looked down at the ground, and cried out, "Another race! It's the intruder of another race!" Bang! The dry land was torn apart, and a shadow in silver armor shot up swiftly, emanating a powerful force. Go! The Sector Lord warrior rushed to catch up with him, but he was too slow in comparison. Dozens of Sector Lord warriors started chasing Luo Feng from all directions, yet they could only watch that silver-armored and silver-winged shadow rush toward the outside of the circle. He won't be able to make it. We only make up the innermost layer of the circle. There are 9 layers of us. The Sector Lord warriors started to retreat back to their positions. Meanwhile, the warriors in the northern part of the circle had stopped advancing. The 2nd to 8th layers of Sector Lord warriors started to go after him. A silver-armored, silver-winged shadow was absconding straight through the Sector Lord warriors. "He is fast," commented one warrior. "So fast," agreed another. Undying fighters had already gathered in the outermost layer. The Sector Lord warriors in the inner 8 layers were trying to locate the intruder, which could help the great beings in the outermost layer congregate beforehand at the crucial position. From the 1st layer to the 9th layer, the silver-armored and silver-winged shadow flew for almost 30 minutes. Almost 800 Undying warriors were split into 3 teams and were ready to fight. "He's flown through the 8th layer," one reported. "He'll arrive soon." "Everyone needs to be extra careful," said a general. "This one is extraordinarily fast, and based on previous intelligence, even the head of our race can't catch up with him. One-on-one combat is out of the question. Each sub-team is going to besiege him." 30 minutes was enough for the Undying warriors to fly hundreds of millions of miles away. All the Undying warriors, scattered across hundreds of millions of square feet, had gathered, almost 800 Undying warriors. The prince stood at the side of the circle. He flew in that direction. The prince shook his head. "It's a pity I can't fight him. I hope he's strong enough to preserve 20 or 30% of his godly body under the attack of 800 Undying warriors of my race. Then I can finally glimpse him." "Your Highness, this intruder is extraordinary," the lanky Universe Knight General said respectfully. "He won't escape being beleaguered by 800 of warriors of our race, but he can certainly survive." Light flashed through the prince's eyes. He could see everything through synchronous transfer of the virtual universe. "Begin," he commanded. 3 armies. Almost 800 Undying warriors. "The intruder has arrived," the most senior warrior of the 800 Undying warriors announced. Then it gave the order. 9 Remoteness joint attack. All the Undying warriors raised their sturdy right arms and howled. Their arms started to burn, and undying power flashed in the form of bloody, red light. The visible red flow of air was primed, swirling above each of the Undying fighters. The airflow formed blurry figures of blades above every Undying warrior's right arm. Over top of the 200 Undying warriors, 200 blurry red blade figures formed a single, giant bloody blade. A giant, bloody blade was concentrated above each of the 3 armies of Undying warriors, attracting blood-red energy from throughout the world, thus empowering them to reach the power limit of Undying warriors. Zoom! The silver-armored and silver-winged figure showed up, saw the Undying warrior team afar, and began fleeing in the exact opposite direction in a state of panic. Unfortunately, there were now teams of Undying warriors in every direction. He could only retreat. The order was given. Attack! 800 Undying warriors waved their right arms at the same time. The giant, bloody blades shot out. Nothing could stop them. The 3 enormous, bloody blades pursued the silver-armored and silver-winged figure. The figure emanated incredible force in its attempt to flee, but even his speed couldn't compare to the bloody blades. The bloody blades flew hundreds of thousands of miles, and when they touched each other, they exploded simultaneously. Boom! The power was so vigorous it was as if it had come from the self-destruction of a super-great being. The force swept into the silver-armored, silver-winged shadow. A shrill, painful scream was heard as the figure was annihilated beneath the great power of the bloody blades. In the aftermath, the 800 warriors gathered and inspected the area with their undying power. The intruder died, they realized, leaving behind only an ordinary undying weapon and a world ring. The prince received the news instantly. "Dead," said the prince, surprised to hear that the undying fighter from another race, who was faster than his captain-level undying warriors, even in a world where their race was empowered while other races were suppressed, had been killed so quickly. He had expected him to be a force to be reckoned with. Your Highness, our undying warriors were only the catalyst of the 9 Remoteness joint attack, the bulky Universe Knight explained respectfully. The world energies on our side played a major part. It's not surprising that the intruder was killed. If there are enough undying warriors to stimulate adequate world energies, even Universe Knights can be killed. Check that world ring, the prince commanded through the virtual world. After a short while, he got the report. There were no valuables in the world ring. Those ordinary objects inside were just trash to the prince. The prince shook his head. It's a fake. The dead intruder must have been an imposter. If he can move faster than a captain-level undying warrior of my race, he must be exceptional outside of this world. How could someone of such stature have so few possessions? Perhaps running is his only skill, the lanky Universe Knight answered. Inspect it again, ordered the prince. All undying warriors, back to your position. Keep narrowing the dragnet. 800 undying warriors began to retreat. It took them 30 minutes to gather just now, and it would take them nearly 30 minutes longer to return to their positions. A full hour had been wasted because of that silver-armored, silver-winged shadow. 2 hours later. The intruder is found. The intruder is found. What? Again? Isn't he dead? The prince in charge of the circle laughed. I knew it. We can't underestimate that intruder from another race. He must have been using his undying slaves, who took on his appearance to lure us into his trap. Your Highness, what should we do now? This one might not be the real intruder, either. Both of the Universe Knights looked at the prince. They had some ideas, but the prince was aristocratic, they generally deferred to his judgment. Follow the original plan, said the prince. We need to be careful with every other intruder that appears, the prince said confidently. We could inadvertently let him get away if we don't. But it's going to slow down the entire process, spoke up one of the Universe Knights. I'd rather go slowly than miss one, said the prince with a cruel scowl. Kill every intruder you find. Don't let any of them get away. The real one will not escape. In the wilderness. As Luo Feng hid, he thought about his plan. He frowned. As the prince had presumed, both of the intruders were imposters, undying slaves sent by Luo Feng. Now, all of his undying slaves were traveling throughout the circle, attracting a good number of undying warriors to gather so he could kill them in the end. It would take the undying warriors 1 to 2 hours to gather each every time. Fortunately, several of my slaves are soul masters who have dozens or even over 100 slaves of their own, who also have slaves. Luo Feng wasn't concerned with those slaves. They were not necessarily faster than the indigenous sector lords, yet if they burned their undying power, they would be more than 1,000 times stronger, making them far stronger than sector lord warriors. One undying slave after another walked to his death. And they kept stalling time. Quick, 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 Luo Feng said, still anxious. The slaves I send out only slowed down one side of the circle while the other 3 armies are still advancing fast. I need to slow down all 4 sides. Almost 100 slaves will be needed to stall them one more day, Luo Feng thought. Undying slaves are useful for God country transportation as bait. I can't waste them recklessly like this. Luo Feng looked up at the sky. Moshe Body was using his talent technique, domain, deep in the bloody airflow over his head, drawing closer and closer. Come on, Luo Feng muttered, his stomach in knots. Hurry. My escape depends on whether Moshe Body can get here before they finish narrowing the circle. His original plan had been to ask the slaves to escape so that the undying warriors in the outermost layer of the circle could gather together, after which he could break free. After giving the plan a second thought, he decided it was unlikely to succeed. The circular dragnet was delicately formed. There were 9 layers, and the last layer served almost like the teeth of a massive gear, with some of the undying warriors distributed in faraway areas as sentries. Even if most of the warriors were attracted by his ruse, a few would still remain behind as sentries, tracking in turns. This made it easy for them to block Luo Feng from escaping for 1 or even 2 hours. If my luck runs out, I'll run into a Universe Knight, thought Luo Feng. Then I'll be doomed. The safest way is to ask Moshe Body to do the job, he muttered under his breath. He's the best at disguising and breaking free. Luo Feng gazed nervously at the sky. This video will end here.